everybody, and welcome back to the NLC. We're getting ready to go into our second game of the day. This is going to be Rate versus Lucent. I got the Root. That's where I went on that one. Rate versus Lucent. 5-10 for Lucent right now. 9-6 for the side of Rate. Did I write my numbers down wrong? Yes, I did. What? I'm looking at the wrong. So I've got my schedules written on my book right here, and I've got last week. Game 2 last week was Rate versus Lucent. It's Lightside versus Rising Dawn. This is a hype game. 10-6 Lightside taking on Rising Dawn who are 8-8. Jamada, please talk. To be fair, I have them. I just have them next to each other. And I've got a big X through that. There we
go. Yeah, Lightside, Rising Dawn. Plain and simple, Lightside have been slipping up recently, but Rising Dawn also they're on at the very least a 2-game loss streak. 2-game loss streak. Their last win was against London United all the way back in week 6. So definitely a little bit of work to be done here today on both sides. I think I'm not sure really what to expect from today's game, other than it's likely going to be messy, because I think that is really the way that you can underline a lot of what we've seen from both of these teams in terms of their gameplay. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, it's Div 2, so like naturally the gameplay quality isn't crazy. I mean, like for Div 2 standards, they have been playing quite messy, especially when you correlate them to where they are in the standings. I think for Rising Dawn, at the very least, that's a little more towards their overall play style, right? They're very... Maybe I'm just like kind of generalizing thanks to the whole roster here, but they can be a very much like an emotional team and lineup, right?
Yeah.
They do really play on their own hype in the games. You can see it physically on the Rift. But I think for Lightside, typically slightly more cool and calculated when they're actually playing their game, and that's what we need to see from them today if they are to take down Rising Dawn.
Well, we're into picks and bans. We're going to see the Callista get taken away here to start us off on the side of Lightside. Rising Dawn going to pick himself up the Wukong bang. We saw a lot of Wukong last week, actually. He was super high prior in picks and bans. I think it was like every game, maybe one without, but I'm pretty sure he's like 100% pick ban. On Thursday, the Karthus coming out as a bit of a ban towards Bat IRL. The Yuumi ban coming out as well. The Yuumi kind of also gives you like a soft Zeri ban. You can still put Lulu with the Zeri as well, but you know, Zeri Yuumi is really, really nuts. And then the Seraphine, another champion who is actually showing up a lot recently as well, is going to get taken away. And like I was saying, you know, it's only a soft ban. You can still put like a different enchanter with the Zeri. So instant lock in there for Lightside on the Zeri.
Okay, so let's see what the lock in response will be, because Poppy Hover, Poppy lock in, strongest champion, it seems like has been decided on the patch. Both 12B and 13. Just globally skyrocketed in popularity. There's very few things that counter it 1-to-1. It seems like Rising Dawn is just going to pick up 2 of the premier picks on this patch, the Sleer and the Poppy at the same time. Now, Lightside have the opportunity to snap up their Renata if they want it. You spoke about Lulu being a pretty common combination as well with the Zeri. Both offer pretty strong avenues for additional scaling towards this Zeri. But I think as well, the other thing is, go down that Renata route. You're looking at, you know, having either Teaser's champion pool banned away at, or Bambi's champion pool banned away. And it seems like for now, Lightside more willing to answer in the mid lane. And I would expect Bambi to probably give us a jungle pick here at the same time, because to me, even though Bambi probably does have a relatively deep champion pool, I think if you have the opportunity to just kind of snap up a 2v2 counter directly without having your champion pool actually snipped at, you're probably going to go towards it. And they do. They pick up the Viego, which honestly, one of the few AD junglers that doesn't have a terrible time into this Poppy, simply because even though you can be grounded by the Spectrum Ward, the stun still goes through. You still actually have it thrown the way you want it to go. You just get grounded yourself, and as long as that stun connects, that's the important part. But Sivir actually gets locked in, and curious note, unless the graphic is wrong, which I'm pretty sure it's not, if we're to run 12B still, this is not reworked Sivir. This is still old patch Sivir.
Old school Sivir, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think you're right.
Oh, we are at 12-13. Okay, well, there you go. No problem. It's been swapped now. Reworked Sivir. I was going to say, if we're still on 12-12B, we've been on that patch for a while. 12-13B is reworked Sivir. A whole wide scoping set of changes down from Q going out faster, coming back in slower. W now can bounce to the same target more than once. The E no longer actually grants mana back and gives you a heal and movement speed if it successfully blocks a spell. And the ultimate refreshes on takedowns, which is absolutely huge. The duration of the ultimate, rather, on takedowns. So focusing back in on the game for now, I expect Rising Dawn probably to go towards a more sort of dive-heavy composition, one with a lot of bruisers and engage tools now with that Sivir locked in. Lightside kind of reading into that. Just take away some of Vangsted's champion pool. The Camille, the Darius makes a whole bunch of sense. On the opposite side, Rising Dawn taking away some of the more safe picks that you could go on MBZ's side. I wonder if Rising Dawn, I was going to say, are going to give Vangsted the Ornn duty, the Ornn hammer. But it seems like they're not. They're going to go towards the Gwen, and this actually dissuades the potential Ornn pick on Lightside's side in terms of the one-to-one matchup. But of course, Lightside still could go for it because they themselves also need a little bit of agency.
Curious what the answer is going to be out here into this Gwen, though. Several picks are still up and available. The GP is one as well, who we do sometimes see come out. And actually, talking about enchanters, but also talking about kind of disengage opportunities. Looking like we're actually going to see that Renata get picked up here for the bot lane for the side of Lightside. This makes it quite scary. If you jump running forwards into that team and you get hit by the hostile takeover, suddenly the Sivir, if her W's on, you're going to do a lot of damage. Obviously, the Gwen as well, auto attack based kind of AP champion, also capable of doing a lot of damage to your team. Things could get really hairy. And now Lightside just kind of trying to figure out what they're going to pick into this Gwen. They are going to settle on the Jace as their solution to this. So kind of some long range kind of poke ability, obviously the ability to jump into the thick of it a little bit later. Still, the final pick is going to be here for the side of Rising Dawn.
All right, Jace. Not a pick that we've seen too frequently recently. I think we actually had one in Division 1 yesterday as well. In the mid lane, though, it was, if memory serves me right. And to round that, it seems like Rising Dawn, again, needed some more engage. It seems like they're going to swap over last second, though, towards the Braum instead. So, not sure, honestly, what the Braum does here. My only assumption is they're going to play for some kind of level 1 cheese, perhaps, right? Set up with the concussive blows, but I'm looking at Lightside's comp and I'm like, what are you blocking? What are you setting up for? You're dealing with a lot of range poke and kite back. Braum kind of sucks into the all of those in combination. In fact, he wants to be on that side. He wants to be on the side that has the poke or is peeling back. So we'll see what Rising Dawn will do with this 2v2 lane in the bottom side. Because if I recall right as well, I think Renata actually has an okay time into it. Maybe you can unbreakable the ultimate, but I've never seen that interaction personally. It doesn't seem like it would work like that either. So, bit of a head scratcher for me on that final rotation. Maybe I'm just not knowledged up enough about some of the small interactions there. But if we're talking about lane setups here, for Lightside, we'll start there first. I think across the board, they should have a lot of early priority, and that could give Bambi an in, either directly towards FireL in the jungle, or maybe towards one of these lanes for lane can get set up for a dive perhaps. But I think Rising Dawn definitely have some pretty strong scaling avenues. I just feel like Lightside also have very strong, if not stronger, scaling on their side too. It just depends on how these teamfights are going to play out, because I think if Lightside are able to play out their range with the Jace and with the Azir, Rising Dawn are really going to struggle without having, the likes of just a Nautilus or Leona type kind of champion where you just press your R button and send it. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. Maybe, the Poppy being sped up by the Sivir is going to give them that little bit of extra edge to close the gap, but I think all it's going to take is Teaser just pressing his Archie and a choke if they do get run down, and that's how fights are just going to end up going. We'll see, though. Early game is going to be super important. Definitely looking towards Bambi, what he does with the early priority, and whether or not FireL can also stave off some of that pressure.
Well, I think Lightside have kind of locked themselves in a ease of execution team here. This is, I think there's very clear win conditions and play patterns to the side of Lightside. Rising Dawn on the other side, it's not like they don't have tools. They've obviously got tools, and like you're saying, you can speed everyone up with the on the hunt. You can obviously throw down the Poppy as well and just get her into the thick of it. The wall can kind of cut people off, and you had that flank potential from Vangsted and just becoming a real menace into the later stages of the game. But the problem is you've also got to account for what the other team have. It's not like, okay, we'll just land our R and then either take the fight or don't take the fight. We're gonna have to commit a lot, and then we're probably in that fight. So can we take that fight? There's a lot of extra factors you do kind of have to calculate here if you're on the side of Rising Dawn going into this game. So it's gonna be an odd one on that front. I'm interested to see how Rising Dawn play it. They could just pull it off and kind of snowball the game, because if they do start to snowball the game, they do have that, a Sivir ultimate where they can just run people down and look to blow them up. But it doesn't look like you're going to see that Braum cheese you were talking about. Instead, it's just that defensive line which has been drawn up by both teams.
I don't know what it's there for. Hey, kudos. Maybe Braum is game winning. You know, passive, pretty strong. No matter what. One of
Very
those kind of
short
champions.
range. You
Yeah.
know, you have the ability to stack it up early in lane. Maybe you've got that. You know, the Renata, her major time where she becomes like insanely useful is that post 6 with that hostile takeover. Obviously, you do have bailout as well, which is a ridiculously strong ability in those situations as well, I guess.
To kind of derail the conversation just a touch.
Go on
You know
then.
how very often people talk about champions in the game which are best designed? And
Yeah.
very frequently I feel like Thresh is thrown in there, which I agree with. I think Jin is also thrown
Yeah.
in there a lot. I don't think Braum is mentioned in that conversation enough.
Oh no, Braum's an incredibly well designed champion.
I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. I think he needs to be chucked in that convo whenever it does come up.
GP as well. Sometimes his numbers can be high, but like his core kit's very well designed.
What I will say is I think at the moment the way that you actually balance Gangplank is you give him crit scaling as opposed to him being completely reliant on dealing damage through crit.
That's what they're doing. Oh wait, no. So his passive's crit scaling. He gets more movement speed based on his crit rate.
Yeah. What they need to do is make his barrels deal more damage based on his crit chance, as opposed to just
critting. Yeah.
Did you roll like 3 crit barrels in a row? Congratulations, you're gonna win the game. Or did you like hit 3 5-man barrels and only get the slow, which sure is meaty, but it's also 500 less damage on each target. Like
the slow scales now with crit rate.
I suppose
that's something, I guess. So I think he slows less but he gets more slow at the end once he's got more crit rate. It's interesting what they're doing to GP actually. I'm quite excited for this. This is actually my first time seeing the Sivir as well, so that's going to be a fun one. Obviously, she's had a whole bunch of changes. One of the big ones was they're trying to make her less like her spell shield being less of like a let's just keep mana topped up ability and actually be a little bit more active and, you know, plays a little bit more into what you want out of Sivir instead of her just sitting back poking and just recovering mana when she wants. I'm interested to see how it goes down because it has been a little while since I've seen this Sivir.
Yeah, I think we saw it yesterday in Division 1. Then Voxnay, if memory serves me right, piloted it.
No, it's a very dim Voxnay champion, let's be real.
Yeah, he loves his CS.
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer. And speaking of farmers, Farrell and Denzel are looking to farm the bottom lane of Lightside. They'll get spotted out on that ward.
They're jumping in. Oh, they got concussive blows stacked up. There is nowhere for Zene to go. He puts the bailout down, but that is not going to be enough. First blood picked up for Limitless.
Yeah, the execution was almost a little bit botched there, but yeah, Zvene just had nowhere to go. Too much CC and damage available. Great job from Rising Dawn. Just using, you know, Talia's ability to just slip out of lane very quickly, make it to a side lane, get that play off. I think Denzel can actually stop that recall maybe if he wanted to. Oh, teasers. I believe just thought he was going to get it stopped, so cancelled it of his own volition. Now he's going to stay in lane for a little bit as well, but Farrell have had an opportunity to gank that lane with that in mind, but just going to go back over to his own jungle.
Yeah, Teaser is actually just going to hold out fast here. Svene is about in case anything does go down, but he's just making his way back down towards that bot lane just there, showing his face in case he was needed. MBZ going to get a nice shove in here onto Vangstead to start it off as well. That first blood now has resulted in Limitless getting those boots too on the Sivir, so it's extra movement and attack speed to work with. So more boomerang blades to be spinning around in the thick of the action. See how he's going to be able to use that and how this lane is going to go now that he was able to find himself that first blood.
Yeah, boots too as well. And you remember Sivir gets so much movement speed just from kind of, you know, using her kit. Could be a very big deal. Getting out of range of things like Renat Ultimate once that comes around, if early level 6 comes in from Svene, but also just kind of kicking around the Zeri very early on. Very important to have those boots, so definitely like the early pickup of tier 2 boots. Like you say, continue to track how he gets on, but 2 lane wards here. Rising Dawn will allow them to know that Bambi's in the area. Firel, as you can see, is also just shadowing just on the off chance they go for something a little bit over aggressive.
Doesn't look like they're actually going to go for anything, although they can just blast going over the wall, and now they're coming in for the gank. If they land this slow from Fine Forever, this could be someone going down, but a great handshake comes in from Svene to send both of them back, and now we cut over towards the top side as Vangstead going a little bit low versus NBZ, but NBZ not going to be going down right now. Getting quite close in all of this action so far, but the reset is coming out, and maybe Vangstead might be feeling this. If he can catch him, he's not going to be able to get him, though. They are just going to back away, get back to base, reset, get lacerated, and get back into the action as teleport to the top side, or Rising Dawn are going to pick themselves up this dragon. First one for themselves. We'll see if that early dragon stacking is going to be effective, because last game, dragons really didn't mean too much. They were there, they were nice benefits, but they weren't like game-changing.
Whoa, it sounds like a cloud dragon.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know, I had half a debate with a player on Twitter the other day about the Cloud Dragon, actually.
Okay.
The conclusion was I still think it sucks. Compared to the other dragons, I think, or more specifically the Soul, right? I think the fact that all 4 other Souls are unconditionally always very strong.
Yeah.
Very
Ooh.
potentially very strong trade.
You may return to talking about dragon.
Yeah, may return. Yeah, I think the fact that all of the other souls are like unconditionally always strong is a pretty big deal. Compared to Cloud Soul, like, okay, sure, the out of combat movement speed, fantastic. But the fact that not everybody can really utilize the, you know, the movement speed from the cast of your ultimate really well, to me, just kind of makes it objectively a weaker soul than the others. So I do hope they find something relatively soon to make that soul kind of a little more in line with the other dragons. I think the problem is, when it comes to balancing souls, I imagine, is they're obviously going to be using like flat number data. And let's be real, if a team picks up a soul, chances are they're going to win. I guess they just feel a little bit content, the balanced team, with where that number's at right now.
Yeah.
But still, the feel of Cloud Soul, nowhere near as strong as picking up any of the other 4. Anyway, that's my run done. Cloud Soul needs a buff.
Well, I guess we'll see what preseason looks like. I don't actually know what they're going to be changing going into preseason. I haven't read anything or any rumors or anything, so maybe there's something in there. I guess we'll find out. What do you think preseason's going to look like? I guess because you know we've had the item one, we had obviously the dragons was one of the big ones. Jungle changes was one, I believe. I can't remember all the preseasons off the top of my head, but you know what are you expecting this preseason? Considering they've already kind of done the durability patch, so maybe this is a smaller preseason.
I don't know, man. This entire season has felt like a preseason, so
yeah,
it's hard to really know. I think we need to focus on the game though, because both these teams are really eyeing up towards this Herald here. You can see Lightside have the numbers first to the river, and Fine River is here as well from Rising Dawn, whereas Limitless isn't. Moxox in the mid lane at the moment, clearing out. So Lightside have the numbers. Rising Dawn do not. Looks like Rising Dawn really unwilling to give this up free at the very least. Keeper's verdict?
Oh, no. Way too wide. That's not going to be it. There we are. Lightside going to pick up this Rift Herald. Limitless does get some free time in the bot side, though, so we'll be able to get a plate, deny some gold, and catch some more waves, and maybe slowly pull ahead. Because Sivir, still, you know, a very, very gold-heavy champion. Wants a lot of injection of cash to actually be strong. So getting up these... getting 2 plates and potentially looking towards that third. Remember, the ricochet actually bounces off the tower, so you can DPS the wave while taking plates. That's 3 plates to Limitless. That's a lot of gold. And this wave as well. As you can see right now, a 1,200 gold lead over his opponents. And Fine Forever and Fire are actually thinking about going for the invade. They're going to pop the ultimate, and now they're jumping in, trying to catch him out for the moment as the Weaver's Wall comes down, and Denzel also joining into the dive. Moxox is going to get himself caught out, and that is Denzel with the kill, but they're bringing in Teases, who comes in with a shuffle, only catches out onto 1 for the moment. Limitless has to flash over the wall to get away. A pretty well-executed dive from Riddle as Denzel needs to be careful on the tail end. Fasoyarel's chasing forward, but now he's in the wrong position, being chased down to get the slow off, and Fasoyarel needs to get the movement speed from the crab. He's able to get away. Somehow, that went pretty well.
All right, Rising Dawn, not Riddle. I'm sorry.
Every time.
I know. I'll do it. Without failure, if you do it, I'm just going to bring it up. I'm going to derail the cast.
Every time. Go for it.
All right, good. It's like a slap on the wrist from from your parents for doing
I
something
did it
wrong.
on Thursday as well, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. See.
Only once.
Only once.
You weren't here. I was actually on better behavior because I was like, Jamarda's not here to tell me off, so I need to make sure I do it right.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's pretty backward logic, but, you know, we'll let it slide. Really clean dive, all in all, from Rising Dawn. Able to escape with almost everybody, just losing Denzel at the very end. And like you said, Limitless got so many plates out of that play. Well, they were eventually traded out, with the Herald getting dropped here in the mid lane. But, I mean, let's be real. Sivir, that much gold this early on. I think, unless you're a League Zoomer, everybody knows how strong that Sivir can be later on. Even into compositions where, realistically, she has no right being that strong into.
Yeah.
All it takes is one good team fight to get in range, and she will shred an entire team composition. So, despite the poke of the Azir and the range of the Azir, I'm not too worried for them for now, at the very least, as in the river. Even though this almost been popped from Limitless, you can see Dragon's being taken up as we've got a little bit of a pause.
And ourselves a bit old Pausarino. I guess we have time to, you know, kind of break down the game before we go off derailing. I was about to derail immediately. Just instant muscle reaction, or like, you know,
It's like
just
it's
instant
just muscle
reaction.
memory. It's from like the UKLC days where there was an
Pauses every
obnoxious
10
amount of
minutes.
pauses. Yeah, like it just
Yeah.
seemed like however the UKLC was set up last year, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And it had nothing to do with production side. It was just the teams having very consistent issues, and it just became, like you said, muscle memory. As it seems like this pause is going to be long enough for us to come back onto your screens. Hello.
How's the weather in Berlin? Is it hot?
It was hot yesterday. It was 35 degrees yesterday. Actually,
Oof.
it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it because
Yeah.
I'm staying with Ashram. His apartment. It's not AC'd or anything. It was just really cool.
His apartment stays so cool.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, it's sunny outside. Great." You know me. I'm a Londoner. I'm like, I throw on my tracksuit, walked outside. I got blasted as if I was back in Texas again with the 40-degree weather. Um, yeah, it was very warm yesterday, but it's been kind of cloudy and actually rained today. The first time it's rained since I've been in Berlin, actually. Like
Really?
ever over the last like 4 or 5 months since I've been coming into the country. It's the first time it's rained, which was very interesting. Storming, obviously, after the very hot weather.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we don't have to feel and talk about weather anymore because the game's back on.
Oh, Bankstead!
Okay.
Just able to get away. That was pretty close from him. As NBZ making a nice trade. Not actually really gonna be able to get too much from him. As Teaser's trying to steal away the chickens, and Fat IRL goes, nope, these are mine. That's how he gets fat. Eating chickens constantly.
Hey, I've been there.
What was it? What was your London chicken shop meal?
6 wings, chips, and it's a strawberry Miranda. You can also trade that out for a strawberry shake, depending on the shop. You know, the shake's always different at every different shop.
So wait, sorry, is strawberry Miranda the brand of shake, or is it something entirely
No.
different?
Miranda is like a soft drink.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, it's bloody lovely, actually. Speaking of things that aren't lovely, this invade for Farrell is probably going to feel pretty bad.
Oh, is it? He's got an escape plan. He's over the wall. The shield is there as well. As he dodges out on the queue, steads them back. I think he's feeling pretty good.
Well, not bad. That champion. It's pretty obnoxious to kill, as you can see. As in the bottom side, Fine Forever and Limitless. Despite being in a ranged melee versus double ranged matchup, almost taking his tower down as the engage comes in.
Well, they're looking for the dive as well. Svene's going to get himself almost caught out. Not enough to go down. Denzel's taking a lot of tower shots, but he's able to hold on. And Moxox is actually finding the turnaround. He dodges away on the Winter's Bite. Crucially, Lightside stop Rising Dawn from taking that first tower with plates, as the timer will tick out in the next 20 seconds. And with everybody getting sent back, it's too close, so they're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, not just yet. And crucially, I'll talk about it in a second. Bankstead in trouble in this 2v1. He's got Ghost.
Yep.
He's speeding.
He's running away with it. They say don't run with scissors, and Vangstead is going to be able to get the Hextech portal out to safety, and he's out scot-free.
Not bad. Pretty good from our resident content machine in the top side as...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Beautifully placed there from Fat IRL. Limitless takes the tower shot and goes down. What happened?
Tower's got bucked a couple of patches ago. That's what happened.
It was more who dropped aggro.
Yeah, it looked a bit botched, I will say. A little bit unfortunate for Limitless, but hey, they still get the tower. He still gets the kill. Sure, Limitless isn't feeling too bad about that one in the slightest. And Rising Dawn still have 2 dragons as well, right? So I think getting more resources towards that second item spike, hopefully in time for that dragon, though I think he might be a little bit too far away. Very, very pivotal. Let's get a look as to how Limitless ended up dying. So that tower shot's flying. The attack. Wait, what? Did he cancel the? Can we get a rewind? I don't know how. Maybe another look at it in a second when we have the time. There's a lot of pings coming down. Play on to teasers.
No. Yeah, he's just being CC'd to hell.
Oh.
Look at the double shuffle back with the Emperor's Divide. Fat IRL goes down, and Fine Forever, he is going down as well. Teases played that fight absolutely beautifully there.
Yeah, Teaser's just flashing backwards, using the ultimate to get those 2 underneath the tower. Fire Fine Forever, they just dive too far forward, not respecting the Emperor's Divide. Get collapsed on immediately. But this is going to be a concern in the mid lane now that Limitless is there. The wave clear shove should always be in Rising Dawn 2. So the reason why I called for a second look at this is simply because it looked like Limitless's first auto got entirely eaten. I mean, could be the heal?
Oh, he healed.
I guess
yes,
that's what
he
makes
healed.
I mean, sure, but it just looks so strange. Also, the spell shield doesn't actually block anything from the Zeri Q, so no heal comes through, which definitely is a bit of a feels bad moment. But the tower had already stacked up off of Fire Out, so that's why Limitless died. The heal is what made it look like it dealt the damage it did. It just, you know, got eaten up through the heal.
I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that auto literally doing exactly the same amount of damage as a heal does. Oh, well, heal heals. As Rising Dawn now, actually a little bit behind in the old gold front. As Bambi being chased down, he has to flash away early. Mossox actually loses so much health here. The Kraken Slayer coming out from this Sivir, doing an unbelievable amount of damage. He's clearing out the vision, getting control of the area as the hostile takeover only hits onto 1, and he can't even get the passive stacked up. They put the Weaver's Wall down, and Limitless actually now on the wrong side of his team is able to get away as they do a whole bunch of poke damage on to the side of Lightside. Is Rising Dawn holding fast here, going to turn their attention towards this 3rd dragon. If they can get this is going to be absolutely huge here. Teases has that Emperor's Divide, so keep your eyes on him. Vangstead jumps forward, dodges away on a little bit of that damage as the dragon should just get finished up there by the side of Rising Dawn. And Lightside just able to find that 1 kill and a little bit of poke. They can turn this into a couple of towers though, because they've taken mid, they've got the charge, and everyone on Rising Dawn has to reset.
Yeah, Rising Dawn had to go towards the bottom side of the map, so Lightside will get 2 towers for this dragon potentially. If they want to commit for it. Looks like they definitely do. Just about have enough damage. Really great stuff from them, but still losing out on that 3rd dragon of the game. That's a weird... I've never seen that bug before. That's
It's a very bizarre bug.
That's
Yeah.
from the Sun Disc, I imagine. Yeah, anyway. Vangstead was just able to kind of walk through everybody on Lightside. With the Hallowed Mist, no one could really hit him. And he was able to effectively just find at least 1 pick onto Moxox before going down and bought enough space for Rising Dawn to pick up that 3rd dragon. Really great stuff from the top laner, as I think we're just going to get a replay to illustrate exactly that. You can see a lot of ultimates already down from Rising Dawn. Vangsted's the only one that can really buy much time. And it's just that Shroud, man. There's too many range champions that can't hit Vangsted. He's not losing HP. He's dishing out the damage. He is able to find his 1 pick in that team fight. Even though he goes down, buying the space provides enough time for Rising Dawn to pick up that dragon. And
Which
now
is big.
Lightside is staring down the Hextrack Soul.
Yeah, and that's a big one actually, because the Hex Soul on the likes of this team, we were talking about their ability to kind of like start a fight. Now they have like extended fight power and also stick power, because you can slow everybody down, get all that extra attack speed as well, which, you know, Limitless is gonna love. And actually, I think this might be the best soul that they could have picked up with the comp they've got here. A couple of abilities means they can just start the fight. Obviously, there's a lot of peel ability, but you know, you just have such good chase potential with this soul. And when you've got that Civet ult as well to give you even greater chase potential, this is going to be a very, very scary dragon for the side of Lightside to try and contest. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of play this out now. The next Drake, I do predict, is probably going to be an utter bloodbath, or at least the moments leading up to it will be.
They better be. I think for Lightside's sake, to be honest with you, regardless of what way the fight goes, because if they lose out on this soul, like you say, so many strong users, even the base stats, excellent, right? The little bit of extra attack speed and haste, even though it's only about a dagger's worth, still 300 golden stats. Of course, the haste gonna go pretty far for a lot of these champions on Rising Dawn too if they pick it up. Not too shabby. It will give them all of that extra chase down potential, as you mentioned. And I just think Lightside, at that point, might just not really have enough damage to stand up to all of the additional damage the soul and utility will provide. Rising Dawn with 2. I was about to say, oh, look at this. Fangster can go hit this tower for free. Pick it up. This is on 1 HP. It's not. It's a dead sun disc.
You're getting caught out by it now.
Yeah, caught out by it. That was... Oh, okay. So, Rising Dawn knows this is going on because of that ward. But
it was quick, though.
All right, yeah.
That does show you that Lightside have a very quick dragon, though. So, Rising Dawn do have to be very, very careful of that, because Lightside can just blitz it down. You know, you've got the Zeri, you've got the Azir, you have those two hard scaling champions who are just going to be able to absolutely blitz through that Baron. So Rising Dawn definitely going to have to make sure that they keep that stuff warded up. Now, 1 minute 20 until the dragon spawns. That's where we're going to expect to the action. So everybody's trying to get those resets off. Limitless now got the Phantom Dancer and that Kraken Slayer in the inventory. He's sitting so pretty right now. Sundisk goes down, and that's actually also going to be a really big one on that front. Being able there to deny away as Vangstead is able to get himself the blue buff and deny that away from the side of Lightside, and also does a lot of damage with that needlework onto Bambi, half healthing him, as Rising Dawn just wanted to get the reset off before this dragon spawns up.
All right, so with 45 seconds left on this dragon, I think it's very important to take stock of items at the moment. As you can see, Denzel hasn't finished up the second item, does have a stopwatch though. So when you think about what him and Teases can achieve with those components, it's effectively the same thing, right? Stopwatch to Zhonya's stats a little bit different, but you've got that Zhonya's more for the stasis. Then Pharaoh could be in trouble here.
He does get himself shuffled back. He's rooted by the handshake, and he is down. The Weaver's Wall comes out way too late. That is easy pickings, and probably the dragon over to the side of Lightside, although there is that threat that they could just turn towards the Baron, and now that the jungler is dead, and Rising Dawn, very much aware of that, are just going to walk away, get themselves set up at the Baron just in case. They've rotated Vangstead over with the teleport as well, so he'll get a tower traded out here as the dragon goes over to the side of Lightside.
Yeah, just a bit of a misstep there. From Rising Dawn as a whole, the reset timers were really, really late coming back out onto the map there, and just meant that Teases was simply allowed to walk into Rising Dawn's jungle, find that flank onto FatRL, who was ahead of his team, unfortunately, in this particular instance, and just getting picked off there. No jungler. Lightside able to stave off the worst case scenario of going down a soul just over 20 minutes into the game, but that's crucial time being bought for them to scale up, like you said, like we've mentioned time and time again. The scaling out of the Azir, Zeri, Jace, it's going to eventually come online, and you'd imagine in the next 5 minutes or so, take a look at the item components and the full item completions in Lightside's inventories, that is going to be ready for the next dragon.
Yeah, that Infinity Edge now on Limitless would be a big one. I think Rising Dawn probably should have just recognized that they were resetting on bad timers, so they never could have contested that dragon. The Fat IRL kind of overstays on the wrong side of the jungle, and he pays the price for it heavily there. Giving up that kill, not particularly the greatest thing in the world. The dragon was pretty much guaranteed to go over because they just were not set up. You could see they didn't have the vision. Everybody reset about 50 seconds before the dragon spawned, so they weren't going to be on the map in time. And they paid the price for it now. But like you're saying, the next time around, they should have a way better situation as far as the items go. That Infinity Edge should be finished up onto Limitless. You've got the Seraphs as well finished up onto Denzel. You know, they are sitting quite comfortably in what items they've got finished up, and they're only going to get stronger from here.
Exactly. I mean, I think you can argue it both sides as well, to be fair. Scaling is definitely there. It's just that the comps kind of do different things, you know. The champions do very different things. So I think there could potentially come a point where it will be execution. I think for now, Lightside going to continue on to, from now on, be the slightly more comfortable of the two. We're talking about fighting around some of these neutrals. But it's just that red ticking time bomb of Limitless, isn't it? On the Sivir. Called out the Infinity Edge. He's got to be pretty close, right? Those two components means 1.5k-ish away. If my math serves me right. And you can see how much damage he's dealing without that Infinity Edge.
You get that auto reset, so you can get the Kraken very easily. And BZ loses half his health there to the side of Vangstead and Fat IRL, but he's going to be able to squeeze his way out to safety. That teleport also getting thrown down by Teases. And you can see Rising Dawn are just trying to take this tier 1 because this tier 1 is going to be such a thorn in their side for the longest time now. They really need to be able to deal with that. And you do have the Sivir, so you do one-shot through the waves very, very quickly. But unfortunately, there's still enough wave clear on the side of Lightside to be able to hold out on mid.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the very frustrating thing for Lightside. Typically, a lot of wave clear AD carries can be at the very least poked out. Sivir is only really looking for 2 spells, which are fairly predictable to eat up with the spell shield. So if Lightside, with their very limited forms of engage, can't get onto Limitless, who has the flash, has the Braum to always give her a little bit of added protection, that wave clear is always going to be there, and we could just be sat here in a stalemate for a little while until one of these mega objectives goes down.
Well, Limitless closing in on the 300 CS mark, which is big. That's kind of that Sivir point, but it's always been set as the benchmark for Sivir. 172 CS. I mean, they are stacked. They are incredibly stacked, and we kind of expect this just to be farm up for the next dragon, get it sorted, but Lightside are going to pick up the crab, so they're going to have that vision to work with. The question is Limitless going to have that Infinity Edge on this base? Yes, he is. And the big thing is, it means he's reset in time for the dragon. He'll be on the map with that Infinity Edge now. 3 items set. Everybody getting these resets in. And this is kind of your last moments. This is, you know, final calls at the bar. You need to get these items, everything set up for this next fight. Stopwatches on both Vangstead and Denzel as well in the run-up to this fight. Everyone is spending as much money as they can as they are getting ready to fight and contest for this 4th and final dragon here, potentially for the side of Rising Dawn.
Yeah, Denzel even picked up a blue pot to maximize how much AP he could potentially have for this fight. Rising Dawn are ready to go. They've got a 3-item Sivir. Vangstead also have the stopwatch of his own. Lightside are about as ready as they could really hope to be at this point. Moxox doesn't quite have the Infinity Edge yet, but has to just stay out on the map at this point, unfortunately. And BZ, if he does find the gold, could technically still reset teleport back. You can see, though, the idea is from Lightside, try and get on top of Limitless, force them away from the mid lane, make them walk into our poke, into our zone control tools. That's the best they could really hope for at the moment. Limitless going to heal back up off that spell shield. Vangstead also on his way back from base 2 with that gate. Complete vision control from Lightside. How fast will this dragon go down? They have to get into that river soon.
Well, they're in, but I think it's too late. They're going to get a big ult actually off onto multiple people. Denzel's kept himself. Oh! The dragon is stolen away. Somehow, Fat IRL made that go down in his favor. His team have the soul, but they haven't got the health bar advantage as they're looking to finish up Vangstead here. Lightside continue the chase on to the side of Rising Dawn, but on the other side, Mosox is just about taken out. The flash comes out from MBZ. Meanwhile, we cut up to the top side, and Vangstead finds himself a shutdown. He's immune. He's got watches up, and now he might just look for another kill. He finally goes down as Fighting Forever will be able to hold on. Rising Dawn, what a fight!
IRL with the play of the century knocks Bambi out of the dragon pit with the keeper's verdict, flashes in like a psychopath and steals the dragon, gets the soul. What a hero play. The fight that unfolds afterwards as well is just too messy for Lightside to ever win on multiple fronts. One excellent sequence of play with those death timers being so staggered as well. Maybe there's an angle for Baron at the very least set up on the top side, but look at this keeper's verdict. Bambi out of the picture. Moxox trying to burst down the dragon. Pharaoh uses MBZ as a taxi, flashes into the pit, secures that one. Denzel on the bottom side now, left to take out MBZ and the rest of Lightside inside that pit just to force the flash. You can see on the top side though, Bambi teases Vene, able to force Vangstead and find Forever away. The Heartbreaker is dodged away from, and unfortunately, Gwen is immune. Plain and simple. Needlework comes into effect. A lot of damage is laid out through, and teases just gets chopped down. Again, Gwen is immune into stasis, and unfortunately, Bambi doesn't get the bailout in the order that he would have liked. Rising Dawn make the best of what could have been a very dangerous situation walking into the pit.
That was so clean there. The setup and the control leading into it, maybe less so, but they were very well. That played that very well. I think Pharaoh definitely an absolutely hero play to secure that for his team. And now Limitless can look to slow the team down, chase up as much as he likes, as Denzel finds himself a knockback onto Bambi, but Bambi only loses half his health. He is relatively tanky right now. He's got the what do you call it? Death Stance, that's the one. Is Fato Urel actually looking to potentially set up for another steal here? He has that keeper's verdict back up. He's gonna throw it down any second now. Does decide to hold off and not throw it out. Just kind of threatens the idea of it and actually puts it back off cooldown fairly quick as well, because it gets a refund on a fair amount when he does throw it down and doesn't actually use it. So he's sitting quite comfortable on that. And now the vision control slipping into the favor of Rising Dawn.
Seems for now, Rising Dawn have definitely been toying with the idea in comms of starting at the Baron, but just denying away as much vision as they can. Limitless almost gets chunked out a tad there. Would be a very fast Baron if they decide to start up Gwen, 3-item Sivir, Hex Soul as well. Thanks, third. Over the wall. Speaking of a wall, Denzel puts one down. Teases.
That's supposed to flash out from Denzel. I thought this fight might not be breaking out, but actually, the chase potential is there, and they're able to find the kill. Lightside taking out Denzel's a big pickup now. But inside the pit with the Sivir, you can take a lot of damage from those ricochets, and it is going to be very hairy, so they instantly start to look out to break out a fight as well. Limitless has popped the ultimate, and they're keeping the chase up onto NBZ. NBZ comes down, and that ultimate will just clip onto Fat IRL. Nobody else gets caught. Little bit subpar from Zene on that front, but it's enough to at least zone away the side of Rising Dawn. But they continue their pressure up here as Vangstead doesn't actually get into position to find himself the kill in time. And they do get the quick W off just to poke out for the moment. Remember, with this slow, it could be huge as they throw down the ultimate, able to knock back one, forcing away the jungler. But Find Forever is going to go down. Limitless can now look to try and find the ricochets off as Teases is taken out by Limitless. They jump in again, and Fato Urel goes forward to try and find the kill, but he's unable to do so. Lightside just still winning these fights.
Yeah, Lightside able to get away with that one there. Limitless too chunked out to walk up and get the DPS down. I actually don't mind the idea of Farrell. The issue is that everybody had to be ready for that turn, and unfortunately, nobody but he was. As it looks like Vision is just going to be traded back out as a lot of resets come out from either side. And I mean, we're just looking towards an Elder fight now. At this point, I feel a little bit over a minute away. And take stock of where everyone's at item-wise. Big discrepancies, top side of the map for now. Vangstead down in items. Almost. I just realized I can't count apparently though. There are both of 3 items. I'll take it back. The actual discrepancy is potentially in the mid lane if Teasers can find enough gold for that death cap. It would put him a little bit over it, but I don't think he's going to be able to, unfortunately. Unless he finds himself a 1k shutdown onto Limitless right now. I think the answer is going to be no. And Denzel, same thing. Still hunting for that death cap bottom side. It's all about Limitless. I think that's what Rising Dawn are going to have to lean on. This Sivir to try and get the DPS out. Has the flash now. Able to reposition. They just have to keep him safe.
Oh, it looks like they've done that as instantly Bambi loses a massive chunk of his health. Serious amount of damage coming in as Vangstead's actually on the flank here. maybe capable of making a hero play as Vene will spot out Vangstead, catches him with a handshake, instantly throws down the W, and the wall comes up. Teases now caught out, has to flash over the wall as Fighting Forever flash forward with the ultimate. Limitless takes a little bit of poke here, and Vangstead just using that needlework to great effect, able to do a lot of damage down with that. And now they're pushing into the Elder Dragon. Fatairel does have that Keeper's Verdict up and available, and that's going to be the big one. If he can send them packing, it can be big. Limitless is just about to go down. He's able to hold on for just a little bit longer. Just doesn't find the threshold to kill him, but teases, gets the shuffle down, and here is Rising Dawn falling apart at the seams in the middle of this fight. Bambi is trying to make a hero play on the flank, but the snipe comes in. Limitless is dead. Fat IRL still has the smite.
He can get in, he can get in.
He can get in. He's jumping back with
It's reset. It's reset.
He can't make it happen. The ace comes down. Lightside secure Elder.
Rising Dawn just got League of Legends diffed, man, and that's so unlucky. Lightside now with this Elder should be able to just maybe run it down and end the game. The death timers are relatively lengthy. I think the problem is, Limitless comes up in 25. Do they really want to risk the wave clear without the Baron buff? They at the very least want this inhibitor here. They have no jungler. Do they have the waves? They want these towers. They want this inhibitor. Are they going to go for double inhibit back?
I think it is probably just at least make sure this wave crashes.
Not even. They want the Baron. Okay. Oh.
That was so close. Unbelievable, that fight.
I've got a headache.
The milkshake, man.
I barely drank it.
It's all full of sugar, man. There we go.
Oh my god.
Baron picks up here. Elder, all of the tools in the side. Oh, light side.
And producer, you know what I'm going to ask for? A juicy slowdown of when that dragon starts to reset. Oh, we can't see the health, but whatever. It doesn't even matter, to be honest with you. But, like, I think the fact that this fight plays out the way it does is pretty hectic, to say the least, for Rising Dawn, right? Limitless almost gets taken out at the very start of it. Denzel gets shuffled in. But Bambi going down at the same time as Limitless is huge, because now there's no jungler on Lightside side of things. And it's right about, if memory serves me right, here, where the dragon is almost smiteable, but it starts to walk back into the pit. It starts to reset. And there's just nothing that Fire could do about it. Like, Moxox isn't DPSing the dragon because he needs to DPS the Poppy. Whilst then BZ and Teasers just murder the rest of the remaining members of Rising Dawn.
Heartbreak.
Oh my god. Heartbreak doesn't even come close.
It doesn't, unfortunately. The Weaver's Wall goes down. Oh, God, that one minion's going on a hero mission into the base.
Lane swapping.
Taking the long way around. Yeah, lane swapping minions. As Bambi just jumped forward. Inhibitor number 2 has fallen down. And Lightside actually might just have to close this out here with the Baron. There's still a lot of damage they're capable of doing to towers. Tower number 1 has fallen down. Lightside are just looking to close this game out as Rising Dawn starting to struggle. They jump in.
Oh, no.
An ultimate lands onto everyone, and with the gift of the Elder, it is easy pickings here for the side of Lightside. BZ holds on long enough to pick up the tower and take it down, but Teased is doing hero's work. A triple kill onto the Azir. Limitless though, finds his own triple.
Limitless! Right!
Stolen away! Lightside! Close out the game!
Oh, that was so scary! What just happened? There's no analysis. There isn't any. Just friends are break. Go. No, you're not even getting post game. Go. Bye. I don't even know if our producer was ready for it.
We're going to a break.